As I went into the room, I just started firing.
In what direction?
In front of me.
What was in front of you?
My parents.
Hello, hi friends. Oh, I have a whiny dog. I am so sorry. Hang on one quick second. Hold on. Say hello, Beast.
No,
He's a trained killer. Don't let him fool you.
Dash, do you love me?
He said, "Who said that?" Hang on. Let me go. Can you go get your daddy? Go get daddy.
First of all, happy birthday to Mallory.
Mhm.
If y'all didn't know, she jumped a whole, well, no, I don't know if you jumped a whole new like age group box yet, but she hit a milestone.
She did. Happy birthday to one of our best friends, Mallory. If you're expecting me to sing, that shit ain't gonna happen because I'm not into losing viewers right now.
I'm gonna give you a 5x4 that equates to a 2x4. There will be no singing.
But yes, she's dirty 30, and we do wish you a very happy birthday. And thank you for popping in here. Yeah, I know, bad memories is right? I'm like, no. Hi, Johnny. Listen, let's go through and say hi to everyone. I really appreciate you guys being here. First of all, Chico. Hi, Wheel.
Oh, Pika.
And thanks for being here, Aunt Pika. Wow, that's really cool to have you here. Welcome in. Happy birthday to our Mal, LFT. Thank you for joining. Johnny Blackhawk. Hello, homie. It is great to see you. How are you? I am so happy to see you guys in here. That dirty 30, right? Thanks, everyone, for being here tonight. We're going to be talking about well, let me say this. Let me back it up a minute.
Wait, Wheels is the 29th. Note to self.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm going to add it to my calendar because right now it says Mallory takes up my entire day because it says birthday all day.
As should.
All right, let me give one to Wheels. I'm on it.
Johnny, anytime you want to meet, I will meet. I would love that. You called the cow. Oh, that was so nice, Chico. Honestly, that was nice. By the way, I went in and left some, and this is what I mean. When I say you guys go leave nice comments, I went into Chico's and just kind of ran amok in there. Just left some nice comments. It helps the algorithm. It helps, people find them. And so I love going into other people's chats and leaving nice comments in there. Deeds on the motherfucking streets. Actually, you were the one I was just going to talk about there, Wolfie. I wanted to thank you for last week for your pushback and the conversation on Menendez, because it actually brought me to where we are tonight. We had been working on the timeline, and I kind of switched it late afternoon to the abuse excuse. Blackhawk in the house. And the reason I did that is because I got to thinking that some of our friends had some questions and didn't really fully believe. Now, let me say this. Hold on. To Wolfie, but also I'm not here to change your mind in any way, shape, or form. I'm just here to present information that I found that leads me personally to believe that these boys were abused. Now, I need to be very clear on the fact that I'm not here. Like, it's important to me to say that I'm not here to change anyone's mind. It's just here's the information that I found. Because I don't think it's coming in going, I'm here to like change up. No, I'm not. Just here to give out the information that I found. But it was great because Wolfie pushed me to go and find that information.
And she really isn't kidding. This afternoon, I got like a late afternoon text being like, switching gears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think, Wolfie's got a great mind. Don't get it twisted. Wolfie doxed my car in 30 seconds. Barely seeing a steering wheel.
That was funny. Hey, Tiff.
Tiff, hi, welcome in. Thanks for being here.
That was really funny when that happened.
Yeah,
that was a funny phone call, Wolfie. She was like, "You're never gonna believe this."
I was amazed. I was absolutely, utterly amazed. But yeah, so instead of going through the timeline, we are actually going to go through the abuse excuse. I don't either. I don't think I can either. I don't think anybody can make you think anything, but I would like to present my case to you and see if, oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. And see if maybe I can crack open the mind a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to change anything, but like, I
mean, it's a very debatable aspect of the case too. And so, I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of us, there are only a handful of people who know what the real answer is, but I do.
We're not it, by the way. We're not those people.
Yeah, and I do, but I just do like a healthy conversation when it's even opposing sides. So I'm all about it. I'm not.
I'm not scary.
Wolfie is Wolfie. If you know her is to love her.
By the way, I got a email today saying it is Wolf Appreciation Week. I swear to God, I got that. I'll play nice. I just prefer that you question again, like put your opinions out there. Everyone hasn't, my mind almost made up in this case, and then Wolfie or somebody comes up with a good point, and I start thinking, I'm not sure. I think that's important. I think that's, that's keeping an open mind. I ask that we just look at the evidence. I'm not sure who's right or wrong. If there's a right or wrong, I'm just interested in looking at everything. And I'm also looking at, like, LFT just made me watch something that I was like, that angers me.
But I would say last night, while T and I were working last night, and I was reading something, and what I thought I was reading was something, a filing on the defense's behalf, like with the explanation. Mm-hmm. And as I kept reading through it, because there were things in there, I was like, yep, like key points that made sense. And then by the time I was like, and then it was something about, it was against it was from the state, but I have to be honest to say there were elements in that I really was like, yep, and kind of some of the dates or the quote unquote story, but it had some elements in there that I was going, ooh, actually, yeah, that makes sense. But that's just where I fall. Like,
Wolfie said there is a right and a wrong, but then there is the truth. There is a right and a wrong. Why can't I post comments? Why am I frozen? I wonder. I don't know. Let's try this. Okay.
Your eyes are really red on that.
It's the reflection in my glasses.
Oh. Okay, now they're not. Oh, that was weird. Okay.
It's the blue light. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Did you watch the trial? Oh, did I watch the series? Oh, I didn't watch the HBO, or not the HBO, the Netflix Monsters series yet. I will. I definitely will. I haven't watched it yet. I'm still like going back, trying to remember this case. And these are my notes thus far. This is just full of my notes in my serial killer handwriting. So I'm trying to go back and just reacquaint myself with the case from the get-go. And then that, like, we're listening to all the books again. Am I taking stuff? What stuff?
She's soaking in all the information.
Oh.
I cannot stand up against notes and spreadsheets.
You can. You
I
can.
really can.
You can. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you can.
girl. Hey, welcome in. You're better with numbers. I hate numbers. You win every time with numbers.
You can break out your TIE 3 and count the bumps. Count the bumps.
The bumps. I can't. So
my last comment.
I can't even
That's
find
your
your
birthday girl, not me.
So we're going to go through the evidence of sexual abuse in the Menendez brothers case. And this is going to be really tough stuff, triggering. It's going to be some really touchy stuff in here. No pun intended, actually. So if you're not comfortable with the topic, slithering bumps, freak snake. If you're not comfortable with the topic, then I suggest maybe you find another video or another place to hang out. You're not going to offend me. I never want to make someone feel bad, but I do want to go through this because I thought it was really, what did I do with that table of contents though? Oh, here it is.
I don't know because I didn't want to see it.
This is taken from the trial. Sensitive topics. Trigger warning. Oh, hey. Also, we're just going to throw that banner right up there because we're looking at other stuff. Wait. Okay. Waiting.
No, she does. She really does. Mm-hmm.
Wolfie, you know how we roll. You've seen our spreadsheets. This isn't news. You have seen our stuff. Before we get into it, LFT, what do you have to say? What are your feelings? Do you feel like the boys were abused, or do you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not organized. I just need to be organized with, like, my partner and I, because she holds me accountable and I have to hold her accountable. So that's the only reason. Otherwise, my notes are like chicken scratch. Hers are like so detailed and
mine weren't even written in a straight line. Last night I was like, oh my god, I found this page, and I'm like reading it, and it's like catty corner and a margin, and then I'm like, I think that says like PDF page. It was bad. But do I think they were abused? Yes.
You know,
sometimes looking back on it now and like listening to some of the books that we've been listening to, and then even hearing clips, replays of stuff, I want to shake them both and tell them like, shut up, stop talking, or like you're making things worse for yourself, or just like scream at them to come clean.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told Tia tonight a little while ago, I was like, I do understand to a degree. I understand their reasoning for not coming forward sooner, especially as like, elementary to high school level children. Even then, I think the dynamics were so different then. And I do think, I don't know, I think some people can relate because of maybe their relationships with their own parents, not to the degree of like that kind of abuse, but I don't know if anyone else like you love like your parents to death, but like some of them still hold like, are they sometimes not like in the back of your mind, like you can hear your mom and your dad, like you kind of second guess yourself and being like, oh God, I'm going to get it for this, even at whatever age you are now. So I can understand that kind of mindset, and then appreciating it amplified by like a 1,000 degree that I'll never understand. You know what I mean? But I, while I understand why some people are like, why didn't they come forward? And sometimes, like, for real, now looking back, I'm going, oh my gosh, like, just say it. Quit talking about gun smoke and stuff. Just tell them what the fuck happened. Like, just scream it. I just think it's so complicated, but I do think they were. But in the past few days, I've come to understand, trying to put on, I guess it was kind of what we were just listening to, Tia, where it was like the emotional hat off for just a second. Like I had to think just business, law, legal mindset, like literally the black and white. And I had to ignore the gray for a second.
Grandma Sherry, you're on to something that we're going to be covering later. Blues Girl said, I have to wonder why this wasn't all brought up in the trial. It was brought up in trial number 1, but in trial number 2 for Menendez, it was thrown out. So they couldn't.
Oh my God, you've got balloons going
Why do
on.
I have? All right. Happy birthday again, Mel.
Did you?
Right. I don't know why I have balloons
behind you.
1 and 2. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I don't know how I triggered that. That was great. Here's another encampment back in the mom and pop. I was told by really? Oh, we'll have to go walk and see what's back there. I'm ready. I'll go. Oh yeah. Your whole issue is the text of law. Were they in imminent danger at the moment? Okay. So they thought they were. They thought their mother was going to poison them. They would look at their father at every meal. Their father would take them out to dinner, which is another whole thing. And we'll get into that another time. But at the point, while they're sitting on the couch, were they in imminent danger? No, but they thought they were. The perception was that they were. I don't know. And that, again, like, I don't have a feeling behind that. It's just, that's what they said, that their perception was that. Punkette, I love you. And go back to bed and relax. And I wanted to say I love you and thank you for popping in. It's such an honor every time you come in. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with chat. Yeah. Do I think that they were in imminent danger the second they pulled the trigger? No, I don't. Do I think that they thought they were? Yes, I do. I think they had a number of things in their young minds. And I'm not making excuses for their bad behavior because there is zero excuse for what they did. None. Zero excuse. What they did was first-degree murder, however you want to look at it.
The intentional taking of a life.
And there was, they did buy guns. It was planned. So I get, there's things there that I argue with myself over. But for tonight, let's focus on this. I'm going to pull this up and we're going to see what was said at the trial about this stuff. Again, this is, can you guys see this? Let's hope that we can hear it. I do have it sped up to 1.5. So if that's not good or too fast, can someone let me know? They knew it was going to go down. I think you're asking such great questions, and I need to actually, let me write that down because I need to look that one up too.
I do think they knew it was going to go down. I think in their head, I think they legitimately believed, no, it may not have been that very second that the parents were sitting on a couch, but I do think in their head, they believed at any moment from August 15th up to the 20th for sure. I think in their minds, they legitimately believed that they were.
I think they thought they were.
They genuinely believed it, like they themselves, and so that's where it's like when it comes to
actually Wolfie Tiff Tiff. It's Wolfie, and that's her nickname for She Indeed. Can you find that book? Because I want to. Yeah. Yes, I absolutely can. I'm in the we're in the process of going through like 3 books at the same time here, so absolutely I can find the book.
They're great audiobooks because you can speed them up and follow along. They're great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. So I'm going to start this, and if you have any problems hearing it or understanding, let me know. I will correct it if I can get it going.
This is the one of Lyle's nakedness.
Oh, I just love her. I'm sorry. I just love her. I think this might be too fast. I just heard her yapping away there. Let's do.
Which was saved by his mother, kept in that envelope. Now, both from the cross-examination of Eric, I suppose, was the first clue, that the prosecution's theory is that the boys, the children, took the naked pictures. And somehow that theory, I think, has to do with some kind of visual perspective that they want you to speculate about based on the height of the person who took the picture. Now, that's wonderful, except people who take pictures can bend down and take pictures of little children's genitals, even if they're big people, even if they're grown-ups. But frankly, there is absolute hard proof that Eric Menendez did not take this nasty picture of his brother. And here's the proof. If I haven't misplaced it, okay? Here it is. The proof sheet is the proof. The sequence of the photographs. Here's a gathering of people. Here is Lyle in the bathtub, one can assume the morning of the birthday party. And here is Eric in bed. Now, Eric is in bed when this naked picture of Lyle is being taken. See, here's the next picture on the roll. Now, are we supposed to believe that 6-year-old Eric, who testified he was not allowed to handle a camera until he was 12 or 13, got out of bed to go take a naked picture of his brother, and then got back into bed so someone could take a picture waking him up? And it isn't until way down here on the roll that the naked picture of Eric shows up, and then a picture of Mrs. Menendez's favorite thing. Now,
did you guys get that? Did you get that, LFT? You do not like, or you do like? Okay.
Her favorite thing?
No. That really? No. The whole picture thing. Did you get that? Hey, Kathy.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm not feeling confident with your answer.
You should feel confident about it because I got it.
Okay.
No, I do. Like I was looking down because I was copying the link for the Menendez, like the sublink for the YouTube for the Menendez case to add to the text. But no, I looked up and saw, but I know 2 very specific things, and I heard what was said when it comes to the young photos of the boys.
So, right. So the order of the photos being taken, initially they were saying that the boys took the photos of each other. Mm-hmm. And that was, you're right. You cannot prove who took the pictures. However, the order of the pictures leads someone to believe. And remember, this is all circumstantial. That's the thing. Circumstantial evidence. Where's the proof in circumstantial? That's why it's circumstantial, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry, I saw Britt's name and I was like, what did I do? Holy shnikes.
Nothing that we're worried about.
Yeah. I already dropped this link in, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't see that.
So the way the order of the pictures were taken, it would have been impossible for Eric to take the picture of Lyle. Mm-hmm. That's the theory behind this.
I think
this is Lyle's attorney now.
Almost as amazing as the fact that these pictures were taken is that these pictures were saved. You will see the envelope that they came in, and you will see the negatives, and you will see the original small photos, and you will see Kitty Menendez's handwriting that was on the envelope these photos were in, which says Eric's birthday, November 1976. She saw these photographs, and she kept them.
That's weird to me.
Oh my gosh, so much that they did was weird to me. But no, that's
Bernadette Peters. I can see that. Oh, what were you going to say?
No, that's really funny. That's really true.
Good one.
No, I do think that's weird in and of itself, and I think there's so much of the behaviors overall as that family and as a dynamic was just
6 and 8 wheel, 6
weird.
years old and 8 years old.
But that's like
It was
watching
Eric's
this, like,
birthday.
but right now, like seeing those photos, it goes back to like the next one that pops into my head is what I immediately remember. The one that I sincerely, like a year ago when we were going over this, you showed me the picture and you're like, what do you
Picture
see?
what?
And I missed it of the boys with their dad, with Jose.
Oh yeah.
But so like even seeing like those pictures right there, I can't see those and not envision that picture of him with the boys on his lap. And
let me see if I can find that. Actually, can you find that while I play this again?
Yeah.
Play this further. Okay. If you can find that, it should be online. Just Jose and the
Yeah.
boys.
I've got it right here. I think right here.
This one was really sad to me. It's because it was planted in your mind. Nope. Okay. I think it's kind of odd that mom has pictures of her naked children.
Did you see any indication in Eric Menendez's medical records
Hi, Miss Brittany.
of an
Welcome in.
injury to his throat area?
Yes, the direct quote is heard posterior pharynx, uvula, and soft palate. Seen in emergency room, Princeton Medical Center. Healing well, symptomatic treatment. Actually, it was seen the day before. This is a follow-up note.
And is that consistent with, could that be caused by child sexual abuse, in your opinion?
Yes, could be.
And what, do you have any opinion as to what type of child sexual abuse could have resulted in that particular complaint?
Oral copulation.
Were there any physical findings at all on physical inspection, not only of the anal area, but any place else on the body?
There were a few non-specific scars, and there was one scar on the lower lip that appeared to be a non-sutured scar.
Did you see in the medical history certain injuries which had been treated by other physicians?
Yes,
For instance, was there an indication that when Lyle Menendez was 3 years old on March 9th, 1971, that he had a injury sutured as a result of a dog biting him in the face?
yes, I recall that, I believe.
And do you recall in 1974 there was a report of an injury, hematoma to the left side of his face?
Yes,
And in the same year, 1974, when he was 6 years old, a report of an injury of a 1.5 laceration to his right eyebrow.
yes,
Was there also a history that he had what's called an epigastric hernia when he was 7 years old?
yes.
What is that?
It's a failure of the muscles of the abdomen to be completely contiguous, so that a small part of bowel comes out between the muscles, essentially.
And did the medical history also include a history in August of 1976 of a speech articulation disorder and below grade level school performance?
Yes,
Did it also include an entry on August 4th, 1978 that he grinds his teeth?
I believe, I don't remember the exact date of the teeth grinding, but I remember the teeth grinding.
And were there also, was there also a report in October 28th, 1976 of stomach pains?
Yes,
And on March 7th, 1977, global headaches?
yes,
Was there also various reports from 1979 to 1989 of complaints of headaches?
yes.
Would any doctor looking at that full range of symptoms been alerted to the possibility of sexual abuse, just looking at this medical history, if it was all presented at once?
Okay. So there was this right here that made me think, and why didn't he keep with Eric even when he grew up? He did. He continued up until May of 1989. He continued to abuse Eric, which Eric would have been 18. Is that right, LFT?
At the
Yeah.
time, 18. He was 18.
And what do you want to explain?
Oh, she was asking, so if they got out with her, would it be considered self-defense? Sorry, it was, let me scroll back up to.
Not really.
Yeah, so I was going to say it depends, like a resentencing. No, they will be charged as is, and that will stay with them forever. Like they will walk out, convicted killers, and nothing changes there. It's just a sentence itself, unless they redo something, if the habeas corpus were to go through, and however they decided to charge in that case would be the outcome.
Here's the thing. It wasn't about, this is my opinion only. This is just for the research I've done. It's not fact-based at all. It's just what I've picked up and what I've learned through studying and researching, that this isn't about sexual gratification for the father. It's about power and control. It's about actual abuse. It's about hurting and suffering. It's actually masochistic. It's really horrible things that are done to these kids. It's not about sexual gratification at all.
It's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Hold on.
So when they, as far as like, do they stick with the young? Some do. But when you have a victim that you've groomed his entire life, that you can still abuse because they allow you to do that, it doesn't matter. I know I love that song too. 21 and 18. Thank you. Yes, I thought so as well. So I hope that answers that question. It wasn't about gratification. It wasn't about what he likes or what he doesn't like. It was about literally abusing and power and control. Miss Italy! Oh my gracious. I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays. Welcome in. It is so nice to see you. Hey girl, hey. LFT is gonna be so happy to see you. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so it's a different form of abuse. It's not necessarily falling under the sexual abuse, even though, yes, it is sexual abuse. It's more under the abuse umbrella, is what I'm trying to say. Pretty cool. Hell yeah. All right, I'll get back to this. Hopefully, actually, this next portion will kind of explain what I was talking about. I know this sounds, hold on, let me see what Ms. Brittany has to say. Nothing sounds stupid. Let me just take that right off the table. Which one of back in 89? Oh, yes, I can. Oh, absolutely, I can show you a picture. Show can. I can tell you that Eric is the one with the curly hair, if that helps. And let me find you a picture. Let me find you a picture. Back in 1989. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me find Miss Brittany so I can show her. Oops. This is Lyle here. This is Eric here. Lyle's 21. Eric's 18. Yes, he wore a wig. He shouted. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah. Well, that's actually, Wolfie, that is one of the catalysts to the fight the week before. And when we get into the week before, we can, we'll tell you that story because that happens Thursday. Let me double check that. Is it Tuesday or Thursday? Before the murders. They're fighting in the foyer. Eric walks in from tennis. I'm doing this from memory. It's a good test. and sees mom and Lyle come out of the den. They're fighting, and she rips that off his head, which Eric didn't even know he wore a hairpiece. Yes, he did. Lyle wore a hairpiece at 21 because he was losing his hair due to all the stress, and that's what they're saying. Yes, Chico, that's a rug. That's a rug. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps, Miss Brittany. Okay, hang on. She's sending me things. We were going to show you a picture of where'd it go? Let me get out of there. Okay. Oh, I have the recent one. Okay. So this one just made me very uncomfortable, this picture. And I'm just going to give you a warning. It just made me uncomfortable. Never in the history of all my pictures is my husband holding my son's genitals. Ever. Tomboy Charm, hi. This pic is so not what I see. People say it, and I just, he's cupping. There's a cup. There's a cup. The fingers are cupped. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry. There's cupping. I don't know. His hand is holding nothing. Well, maybe. Lyle doesn't look comfortable. I can say that. But I mean, that's an opinion, right? Right? I did. Yeah. Tomboy Charm said she held her son way above the belt line. Yeah. Like tummy area, I think is where it's me. Like, I know I'm being weird about it, but I don't, it made me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like it. Is it a little sus, or is that just an opinion? Is it a little sus? I think it is. Yeah, I think so too, Grandma Sherry. I mean, that's my feeling. But also, Wolfie doesn't agree. She doesn't, and that's okay. This is what they look like now. Oops. So this is Lyle and this is Eric. Whoops. This is Lyle and this is Eric. Sans rug. Not sus enough for you. Okay. Cool. All right. I appreciate that. Nobody ever laid their hands on me for a pic like that. I mean, I'm glad you said that, Will. I'm really glad that you said that. I just find it weird. It's just me. It's sus to you. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing, but Chico, that was exactly my feeling. I look like TNLFT. Hi, Aussie. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Is Nav here? Oh, hi, Nav. Navigator, welcome in. It's great to have you. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you. Just being honest. I appreciate honesty. That's why I like Wolfie being here and telling me that she's not buying the shit. She's not buying what I'm putting it out. I need a new PR team because she ain't buying my shit. But I'm going to play this a little bit further. This is the scar that made me uncomfortable and where I started to research battered child syndrome and levels, because there are so many levels of abuse, just abuse under the umbrella. There's a gazillion subcategories. And this is where I started really kind of deep dive in that. Except I'm not sharing anything. So it might be helpful.
He would stick things in me as he was giving me oral sex, or at times he would just sit on the bed with his legs up, spread, and with his back to the back of the bed, and he would have me give him oral sex.
Okay, this is hardcore, just so you know. Sorry. Warning.
He would stick things in me as he was giving me oral sex, or at times he would just sit on the bed with his legs up, spread, and with his back to the back of the bed, and he would have me give him oral sex, and he would stick the needles or the tacks into my thighs as he was doing this.
Did he also use a knife at any time during, and these were the incidents that you've come to call rough sex?
Yes.
And did he also use a knife at any time?
Yes, he would. He had this wooden kitchen knife that he would use to he wouldn't be doing anything with sex at that point, though. He would just have me sit on the back of the bed. He would put a towel under my legs, and he would just cut my thighs with the knife.
And do you have a scar that is still visible on your thigh from when he did that?
Yes.
Which thigh is it?
My left thigh.
And how long is the scar?
Not that long.
And do you recall that that's something that was done during one of these episodes?
Yes.
When you were 10 years old, how old was Eric?
He was 12 and a half. He asked me if my dad ever gave me massages. He was actually trying to find out if any of these massages were normal. And my response to him was that I wouldn't know. I didn't have a father around. My parents were divorced then. And I really couldn't help him.
What did he say about where the massages were?
Well, he told me his father was massaging his dick.
He used that word?
Yes, he did. What I do remember very specifically was him asking me to make a promise to him never to reveal that to anybody. And he was saying it very seriously, and I took it very seriously. He explained to me that these massages that his father was giving him were beginning to hurt.
And do you remember whether or not you understood what that meant? Or
I definitely didn't understand.
he didn't tell you anything about tacks or needles or ropes or anything
No,
like
he
that?
didn't.
Were you familiar with a nickname that your cousin Eric used to refer to himself at about this same time?
Yes, I did.
And what was that nickname?
It was Hurt Man.
So that person right there was Andy Kano, and that is the person that's Eric's cousin, since he did pass away from an overdose of sleeping pills. He was having a lot of difficulty with Eric and Lyle being incarcerated, and he couldn't deal anymore with it. But the letter was actually written to him that they have found and want to use as evidence again. So that's who that is. Yes, he did. The guy testifying did pass, yes, in 2003 of an overdose of sleeping pills and alcohol.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, hey, welcome back.
Sorry. And no, will be. That was not a booty call. That's that's my ringtone when family calls.
It is so sad, and to think that he.
Mm-hmm. And it was his mom that sent him the letter years later, cleaning out some of
We just you're coming in late, sister. She literally just said that.
Oh. I just wanted I wanted to reiterate that.
Well done.
Mm-hmm. I was here the whole time.
That's the letter that they're using for potentially, they're calling it new evidence, even though it's really not new evidence. It just couldn't produce. It's a long story. Long story. We'll get into that later. Tonight is we're focusing on this. I'm trying to keep it moving here.
Some years after Andy passed away, Marta, his mother, found a letter that Eric had written to Andy some months before the shootings. If you don't mind if I'll read it. Mom isn't doing too good. It's like she's here physically, but mentally, she's just like gone, if you know what I mean. She freaks out over nothing. I feel bad for her. I don't know why she puts up with Dad's shit. And this is where it gets particularly interesting. So now I'm stuck here alone. I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I can't explain it. He's so overweight that I can't stand to see him. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in. I need to put it out of my mind. I know what you said before, but I'm afraid. You just don't know Dad like I do. He's crazy. He's warned me 100 times about telling anyone, especially Lyle. Am I a serious wimpus? I don't know. I'll make it through this. I can handle it, Andy. I need to stop thinking about it. And this was just a few months before the shooting.
I lived with them for over a year. I couldn't take it anymore.
So I wished I never lived with them because I wouldn't have known that behind the doors scenario was going on in that house.
My bedroom was downstairs and there were 2 single beds. And
Also, before we get into this, let me just Wolfie is getting sleepy. I understand that, Wolfie. What I wanted to say is I completely forgot. Give me 1 second. What was I going to say before I saw that Wolfie was getting sleepy?
The cousins talking about
thank you. Yes. This, before anybody says this is what?
Sorry, hi, Miss Italy.
I know. I know. I was so super excited to see her.
I know. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And she's like, so sad. It's the comment that I just got excited to. Sorry.
Before anybody says anything, this is not hearsay. These are witnesses to what they saw. So it's not hearsay. I know that this group is smart enough to realize that, but I thought I'd just mention it for whoever might see this.
Lyle came downstairs one night, it was before bedtime, and wanted to sleep in the other bed. And he said that he was afraid that his dad was going to come into his room, that he and his dad had been touching each other down there. And he indicated his groin area. So I went to get Kitty and I told her what was going on. She didn't say anything. She just took him by the arm and took him back upstairs and took him back to his bedroom. And that was it. Kitty and Jose were like king and queen. And so it was just not in my head to second guess what they did.
What I experienced while living with them was kind of strange. When I first went to stay with them, the 2 boys and Jose would go into the master bedroom and the door would close. And I'm given that we're taking the boys for a shower. Well, I found it to be kind of strange. I thought they were old enough to take their own baths and their showers, whatever they were. Because I wasn't there. I heard what sounded was a person, like a person's scream, if you want to call it, like a ah. And I got up to go down the hall. At that point, Kitty yelled out, looked at me and says, "You're not going down there. Get back here." And okay. As soon as Jose took either one of the boys into their room, the door was locked behind him. And Kitty made it very clear that she did not go down the hallway to listen or go near that door. If I would have ignored my aunt, I would have ignored Kitty and just went up to that door and knocked.
I hated it. I hated it. I hated it.
I believed him. Straightforward. I believed him. Because of the noises I heard coming out of the room, the fact that Kitty would not allow me to go down the hallway to find out what was going on, how I wasn't allowed to see the boys right after they came out of the bedroom, all these different things just clicked. And that's when I really said to myself, you know what? That son of a bitch was actually doing what they said he was doing back in that bedroom.
I wanted to end the sex with my dad.
Were there any rules about what you could do when one of the boys was sent down the hall and Jose went into the room with them? You couldn't go down there. I mean, you stayed in the living room or you did something else, but you didn't go anywhere near the hallway.
Decipher, a former neighbor and teacher, recalled 2 young boys
forgotten about this.
formidable even to adults.
What?
I'd almost forgotten about this one.
Yeah.
Like many others, said Alicia, she was careful around Kitty and Jose Menendez. But there was one episode she found too disturbing to ignore. A dinner party at the Menendez home. Jose told his guests he'd brought back a VHS tape from a trip to Brazil.
And I have to show you guys this because it's so unique. And so he puts it in, and I don't remember the name.
He said the film showed adults engaging in sex acts in front of children.
And we saw a few seconds of it, a few minutes, and we made excuses. A lot of us stood up and said, we have to leave. We couldn't stand to see it, to watch it.
But Jose found this engaging.
Hysterically funny.
Dr. Summerfield was testified that he saw Kitty Menendez from February 27, 1987 to August 16, 1989. He met Jose Menendez at one time and would have given his impressions of Mr. Menendez, that he was controlling, dominating, arrogant, not concerned with her well-being. He found her to be suffering from depression, that she was subject to mood swings, that she would have outbreaks of angry outbursts. She was extremely concerned with the appearances and that people would believe that she was conforming to social norms. She had a low tolerance for frustration and would be aggressive when frustrated. She suffered from chemical dependency. During the time we treated her, she was on the maximum dosage of imipramine and Xanax.
Why didn't they go to LE? That's a great question.
I was just typing a response.
What's your response? Because then I'll give you mine. Tell me yours.
I wrote Chico's because I just abbreviate. I said, I don't think they've ever really been able to answer that. Some have indicated, and that was as far as I got, but some have indicated that even, I want to say, what's her name, that confronted Kitty, when that went kind of nowhere, she just, in the dynamics of the household and whatnot, it was just something like,
A much easier.
there was nothing you could do, that there was nothing anyone would be able to do, and that they or wouldn't be believed.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on one second. Remember, these were kids.
Mm-hmm.
These were kids. So they're finding, they're being told this information, and they go to the only adult they know to go to, and she squashes it.
And I think that's so indicative too, that it was a female cousin too who was like, oh my God, I think the boys when or at least with Andy, like from what can be perceived from their dynamic, their relationship and how they spoke about this, it was kind of like once Eric also said, like, don't say, my dad's already warned me not to say anything. Like, I think the guys took that, they took it. It was for them. He was like, I wouldn't do that. Like, he literally was like, I won't say anything because it could make matters a lot worse. And I think that's how I kind of perceive it. And they were still young, even at that point. Even hearing it as someone, if you're a junior or a senior in high school, I guess now most of us would be like, yeah, we would go and say something. But I have to put myself back to where I'm almost, would this happen 6 days before my birthday? So I would have been almost 6? No. This was 89, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would have been turning 6. So after I would have been around the age when it started to happen to the boys. And then I don't think at that time, I just think the dynamics were very different. I think even guys now or friends now would hesitate, their gut is to go forward, but then you would still question okay, is it going to make matters worse? I think you still consider a lot even before coming forward, especially if it's not you, if it was something that you were told.
I want to recognize a couple of people in the chat that just decided to share some things and tell you that both of you, I'm so sorry. I'm so proud of you, and it's an honor to know both of you, and that you can come today and feel good enough, not good, but good enough to write that in a chat publicly and be okay. And I'm very sorry, but I'm also in awe of your bravery, and thank you for being so brave. I'm sorry that it happened. I'm sorry that they didn't believe you when you first said it. I think that's the hardest thing for me to come to terms with, is that how I asked LFT this earlier, and I really want to get through this video because I still have another one to do. But I struggle because how do we know when someone has been assaulted if they don't do the kit right after? If they don't do the kit, it's your word against theirs. Who believes? You know, some people don't believe the men or the women these days. It's a sad situation for me because I know that there have been people who have not been abused and said they have, and they've used the system in those ways. But
when you think about it,
wow,
when it comes to the allegation of abuse, unless it's something like digitally recorded or literally, you know, first person witnessed, immediately handled kind of deal, it's forever. He said, she said, or she said, he said, he, you know, it's the person that it will forever be the person making the allegation versus the defendant of said allegation. And it could happen. Actually, when you said the thing about having the kits done and whatnot too, when you think about like people doing autopsies and whatnot, in terms of, you know, murder, unalive victims or whatnot, like to prove that said victim was sexually abused or something, they'll do the rape kit. But you know that defendant could be like, no, it was, well, you know, it was consensual or whatnot. But even then, it's, you know what I mean? Like it's wild to think. I don't know how to you will always, if you experience it or something, I think that it's just something that always is going to be the case. Is that it's something that hopefully what today's environment is helping to instill in people is, regardless of any shame and fear that you might feel, like to immediately go forward and to, you know, to do like that, you've got the support and you have the right to come forward and to take your power. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. I would love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And sorry, I wasn't looking at chat, but I was just thinking, but
chat's pretty powerful tonight. It's pretty powerful, and there's some incredible.
I don't mean to minimize or trivialize anything by saying that. I just think I hate that it's that way. But do you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, how do you, like, someone says this happened, and you're like, how do you, like you said, how do you prove it? And I think one of the biggest things right now is there are things that can help.
I wish there was a way.
Yeah, I wish there was a way, but I have so much respect
but I think saying it is, I don't know, any way that someone feels more powerful and can take their power back, because what I'm learning is it's not just about the act itself. It's about power and control in some cases, not all. And we're not blanket stating anything. I told you I'm a gray girl. I wear grout fits. I don't wear gray outfits. I wear grout fits. Like, I'm so very gray.
And you're right. And Chica, Tia and I were talking about this the other night too. It's just
got it.
Almost too kind of like the damnedest timing of everything for this to even be, for the Menendez to be brought up and for these elements to be highlighted that have been significant to their case since being on trial, since day one of trial. Their story has been this. It has never changed. They have gradually come forward with even more details and having to take responsibility for why they didn't say something sooner. And I do give credit there, where it's up to whomever whether or not you want to believe it, what they're saying. But I just, for me, in my opinion, like I'm watching it and then I compare it to other people that have suffered abuse or trauma to as children, and the way, because it comes, I feel like too, it comes out like that. It comes out in behaviors. It comes out in like it. You can try to stuff it away, but it's going to impact you and show, and so in one way or another. And you can look at other people that have been fallen to that kind of situation, unfortunately, and then has gone on to either repeat it or take the anger out because of it on things, and then, you know, but still kind of never change once, kind of even behind bars, say you're convicted. And that's where I give them too a little bit of credit of coming, the way they've conducted themselves since all this.
Oh, awesome. You guys, I am getting a gray rainbow delight. I love you. Actually, Shifty, don't let me forget. I need to have a conversation with you. I need to have a private, I have a dilemma, and I can only speak to you about it. I need you. How many victims have come forward and been crushed in court? And Chico says, honestly, it's still that way. R. Kelly, Cosby, and Diddy. Exactly.
And
Too
look how long
many.
it took for them to come forward. And like, and how scary is it that I think many of us, like the first time I heard the number of people, even on one of the first press conferences, like that 3,500 or whatever it was, going for a minute going, whoa, that seems a little inflated. Just like when you first hear it, just spur of the second. And then you're going, damn, actually, I bet that is the case. And that's frightening. That's a big number of people.
So I want to fill you guys in on what Wolfie is sending me. Wolfie just sent me a book, and I can't show you the book because there's some personal information that's listed there. But the book is called When a Child Kills. And she said they say Lyle used it to paint the essay. I don't know if it's true, but I'd like to see how the book reads. So I'm going to look it up. The book is $90, so I'm going to see if I can find it on Reddit. That's a lot of times where I can find little things there. But she took the time to she took the time to send that to me. So I'm going to look into that book and see if we can get that and see if there are correlations with what Lyle said and this book. I think that's absolutely fair. If we're going to look at it, we got to look at all angles, right? We can't put our blinders on. I can't just say 100% this. So I always appreciate. Back then, people didn't talk about this stuff in Young Boys. Put this up on the screen so we can see it. So we can see Miss Italy's beautiful face too. I can't imagine them coming forward at that time. I don't know that time has changed that for anyone, men, women, children, whatever. That's why I try not to judge people. Don't say anything for years because I was that woman. I didn't say shit until I went through therapy and realized it took a toll on me mentally. I was fucked up in the head. So powerful and incredible that, oh, well, thank you for educating us as well as, I appreciate it. Is it a book a kid would have read? I don't know. It says When a Child Kills. Let's put it this way. When they finally did it, he was 21 years old. So I have to see when it was published and if it was something he might have read. We'll deep dive that.
What's so interesting is back to Chico's comment about like the toll it takes on you mentally and whatnot. It really is kind of I feel like after something traumatic like that happens, like your self-protection, you go to like self-protection kind of mode and you learn your new way to deal with things. And it's almost like you have to, and my aunt was someone who told me this years ago, but it was literally like, oh my God, we have to retrain your brain because my way of thinking was so molded by a certain event or something very specific that happened to me, and that's how I operated. And it's been a work in progress. But what she was just saying, it was like how long it took her until you realize it and you kind of deal with it. Like it doesn't happen overnight.
So someone else, I'm not going to say who right now, just sent me information too that I want to look into and have a conversation with. Wow. You guys are amazing. I am
That's amazing.
not taking the information sent to me lightly. He said he read it in prison. I have some questions. What's that title again? The title is When a Child Kills by Paul Mones, Mones. Oh, well, that's actually knowing that you have, I mean, I think we all have our walls up when we're hurt and we need to preserve ourselves. But what I think is the growth and what's amazing is telling people that you have struggles. So not only that they know that they're not alone, but they know how to handle you. You know, I think that's really important when you say, I have this, and this. It not only helps you, but it helps the person. I don't know if I have a friend that I talked to one day, and, I love her dearly. And she said to me one day, I'm going to give you basically a rule book on how to deal with me. And I was like, okay. And we fight, back and forth. We bicker, and I'll not talk to her and she'll not talk to me. And then I'll call her and she'll call me, and things will go, fine. But
are you talking about me?
No. We're not talking about anybody. But she said to me one day, she said, I'm going to give you the rule book or handbook on how to deal with me. These are my things, blah, 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 blah. It was so helpful because the next time we had a disagreement, I knew how to handle it. And I knew what to take personally and what not to take personally, because this was how she was and how she reacted to things. And I knew that was her deal, not my deal. So I didn't internalize it. And it helped me so much. And it also helped me to get over things. So when you do that to others, it's like I said, it's a handbook, and it helps those around you. So not only are you growing from it, but those people that, your loved ones or your friends can help grow from it too. When were their trials? Their trials were in, let me see. I have those dates.
I got it right here.
You got it?
Yeah. So
first trial was in 90. Wait, I got it.
I got it right here. I've got Menendez one's July
1993.
20th, 93 to January 8th. It was, the first trial was July of 93 to January of 94. The second trial was August of 95 until, I believe,
March 20th, 96.
96, yeah. I was about to say March. I had the dash by the 20th.
In between there was O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. So then we've got O.J. Simpson from September of 94 to October of 95. Then
what did I do with that?
June 94, Rain pleads not guilty. January 11th, January 25th, O.J. January 25th of 1995, O.J. defense opening statements. October 11th, 1995.
I'm showing it. If you can read my handwriting, there it is. Did a Menendez side by side.
So their trial started, OJ's ended right before. Theirs started in October of 95.
Well, their trial ended. Okay.
Oh, I wrote down here.
Their trial ended in January and Simpson started in June. Or I'm sorry, September. June was when the murders happened.
Okay, I've got January 25th of 95, OJ defense opening statements. October 11th, 1995, opening statements in the Menendez case. In October of 94, a judge begins interviewing prospective jurors in the OJ case. 12 jurors seated November 3rd. Yeah, the trial started January 24th, 1995 for OJ. And then October 11th is when the opening statements were given in the Menendez second trial. So you've got the first trial in 93, the second trial starting October 95. Roughly 7 months or so after OJ's team gave their opening statements during that trial.
It was September 92 when the book was published. September 1st, 1992. To answer that question. And I love your statement, Chico. He definitely did it. I agree. OJ, you guilty. Yeah. So the book was published in September 1992.
Which book was that one?
When a Child Kills. The book that Wolfie sent.
Okay. I wrote it down. I got Paul Moans.
Okay. So let me get back to this before sugar snaps. It looks like I deleted that page like a moron. Give me 1 second to pull it back up.
They were arrested. Yeah, March. Eric, let's see, when was it? Lyle was arrested March 8th of 90, and Eric turned himself in because he was in Israel playing tennis. So he came back March 11th, and he surrendered right at the airport.
All right. Sorry, it's taking me so long.
Social norms. She had a low tolerance for frustration and would be aggressive when frustrated. She suffered from chemical dependency. During the time we treated her, she was on the maximum dosage of imipamine and Xanax that was permissible by the doctor, and that she also abused alcohol. She had secrets which she characterized as sick and embarrassing, which she felt were very profound and were at the core of her depression, but that he could not get her to deal with those issues and was in fact afraid to have her face those issues if she was not hospitalized. He urged her on a regular basis to be hospitalized so that he could, number one, isolate her from the forces he thought were reinforcing the secretiveness, that is, her husband. And also because if she ever actually faced these core issues, he felt that the suicide issue, which was always there for her, would be intensified to a degree that it would not be safe for her on an outpatient basis to face these issues.
Did you reveal something about your own background of a personal nature
Yes, I did.
to Lyle? And did he, in response to that, reveal something to you about his and his brother's background?
No.
Did he ever tell you that he and his brother had been molested by their father?
No, he didn't.
Have you ever told me that?
I can't recall that I have.
Have you ever told anyone else that?
I can't recall that I have.
You don't remember whether you've ever told me or anyone else that Lyle Menendez told you that he and his brother were molested by their father in a Chinese restaurant?
I told him I was molested as a child. He never told me he was.
He never said anything to you of that nature?
No.
And you have never told anybody that he said anything of that nature? Is that true or not true?
It's true that I never told anybody that I said that.
Mr. Boudreau, did you ever have an interview with a reporter in this case on tape in which you made that statement?
I interviewed with Bob Rand, was the only reporter I interviewed on tape, so.
You've interviewed with a number of reporters in this case, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Who have you been interviewed by in this case?
Bob Rand, Ron Sobel, and some gentleman from the US One newspaper in Princeton area.
Okay. And is it your testimony that you have never in any of those interviews made this statement?
I can't recall that I have, no.
So Tomboy Charm said she forgot the brother's new attorney was MJ's attorney. Garagos, yeah. Also, their attorney was, they switched attorneys, oddly enough, on the O.J. Simpson case.
Wow.
Hey there.
Yeah, I misspelled Scott Peterson. I was like, he's Peterson's as well.
Yeah. Mark Garagos, yeah. Yep. He's a high profile guy. Not as, don't say it. Don't say it. Oh, God, I was that, Y'all, I'm growing. Close. Whew, caught myself. Huh.
What? That's so funny because I was like, yeah, don't say it. But then my brain just went in two different directions for don't even go there.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I just should have.
High profile.
I am going to watch it. I'm going to watch it based on the fact that you told me to watch it. And I feel like you've been, coming with the facts here too. So I'm going to take a watch at it.
Wolfie, I had it playing and I remember certain scenes, but I'm technically on episode 3.
I'm going to go past Donovan because he's just a douche canoe. And he's not, they proved that he's not telling the truth.
Prosecutor David Kahn promised a different approach to the case.
One thing that we have asked the judge to do is to limit the so-called abuse excuse, to limit evidence that has nothing to do with this case.
And so all the rulings from the first trial changed in the state's favor. There were various instructional issues. There was expert testimony that wasn't permitted in the second trial. The sexual abuse evidence that had been admitted at the first trial for the defense was no longer admissible.
The judge has ruled that he will not allow the brothers to call all of their family and friends as witnesses.
curtailing the defense's case. And in fact, what they didn't allow the jury to hear made it worse because the defense evidence that was presented was so trivial. So we don't hear that Lyle, when he was 8 years old, told Diane that his father was touching his penis. We don't hear that Lyle, when he was 12 or 13, wrote an essay about a father put on death row for molesting his child. What we do hear is that his father didn't put a Band-Aid on his knee. The prosecutor was able to stand up in closing and say, "You've heard no evidence of sexual abuse."
Yeah.
And the prosecutor was right, but only because he had excluded the evidence.
Comenzaron a hablar. They was talking, Ricardo and Menendez. Y al momento me ofrecieron una copa de vino. Yo tenía 13 años. Ricardo no acostumbraba a servir bebidas alcohólicas. También hay ese punto. José Menéndez me dijo, toma este vino. Es un vino carísimo. Y tómate toda la taza. Después que yo me la tomé, yo me comencé a sentir un cansancio, un peso. Yo no podía más moverme. A partir de ese momento, yo solamente veía cosas como que desenfocadas. Alguien me cargó. Alguien trying to push me.
Yeah.
Y caminé un pasillo bien largo. Y había un cuarto. Yo no podía reaccionar porque eso me estaba tomando cuenta de mi cuerpo. Me drogaron. Y después de eso, yo amanecí en el hotel. ¿Cómo yo llegué al hotel? Yo no sé.
Doesn't he? I agree, Will.
Pero cuando yo fui al baño, I was bleeding.
I hate this kind of part.
Y yo estuve una semana con un dolor terrible. Con un dolor que no podía más. No me podía ni mover. Yo me acuerdo que yo tenía que simular que yo no estaba con dolor, pero el dolor estaba tomando cuenta de mi vida.
Oh.
Que era un dolor terrible.
I can't stand that. I hate that.
Y sangré muchísimo. Y yo le mostré a Carlos, mire Carlos, mi ano está sangrando. Ah, tranquilo. Ya luego se te va a sanar. Ya luego tú estarás listo.
You'll be ready again soon. I think that it's fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. I know, it really is hard to watch anything. Well, and I'll tell you what, it's hard to watch with what I know in this group now.
Yeah, that definitely is.
To be fair, it's a bit difficult to watch with what I learned tonight. The other little thing that I had was this one. And we don't have to watch the whole thing. I'm just going to watch.
This is how to get.
Oh.
Ooh.
I just want to show just a few minutes of this. Well, yeah, that's a fair statement.
Really?
That is a fair. What?
Oh, you're like, this is what I want you to. I just want to watch a few minutes of this, and then it pauses on the exercise. Everyone.
I know, but I'm reading. I went to see Dietz. I'm reading Wolfie's comment. You would be considered an asshole if you don't believe him. But I do believe him. But I have to question myself on why I believe him. Hey, Mystery. Thanks for popping in, friend.
Hey, Mystery. Well, I think it goes into what we talked about the other night when I said at this point, too, I have to have faith that this is where I'm throwing my hands at the mercy of the judicial system and the court and the people, that for them to be giving as much attention and signs of credibility to Roy's allegations and his proof of said allegation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we would be this far if there potentially isn't something there. And so that's where I take, like, forget of what he's saying, if whether or not I think it's true or not, the fact that it's going this far potentially and actually has been reviewed and been able to be passed on.
So, Wolfie, let me ask you this. Why do you believe him and you don't believe the boys? No judgment, just a question.
It's actually a really good question.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
please.
Yes, please. I'm going to play this for just a couple minutes until you do that. You don't know you do. Okay, fair. All right, cool. Let me start this because I just
get fast. The best way to
I do
burn
have
fat
premium,
and
but
get
it's on my
shredded is not
other
keto.
account.
Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert. And today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of Eric Menendez. Eric and evaluation of any kind, these are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to.
Yes. And where had you done it?
I started in 5th grade.
And had you already done the 5th grade?
Yes.
And where had you done it?
I'd done it in Hopewell Valley.
Was Hopewell Valley a public school?
Yes.
So right now he's talking about sort of generic life facts, but this is important because it helps us get a baseline. Look at the way that he reacts when he's answering things that are factual, that are provable, that are not up for opinion, that aren't for debate.
Mm-hmm. The 5th grade?
Yes.
And where had you done it?
I'd done it in Hopewell Valley.
Was Hopewell Valley a public school?
Yes.
See, he answers quickly, he answers precisely the way he's looking, the way his demeanor is. I just want you to keep all of this in mind as we continue to watch, as we get more into the things that are a little bit more intense, the things that are a bit more relevant to the murders of Kitty and Jose.
You had mentioned in your testimony yesterday something about Vaseline. Was Vaseline something that figured into the sexual activity between yourself and your father?
Yes.
And Vaseline?
So as you can see when the camera panned over to him, he was looking down. This is probably something that feels shameful to talk about. This is oftentimes a look that we get when we're feeling shame. Now he does this through some different contexts. We'll be talking more about different head positions and what that means. But right here, it looks like there's some degree of shame as he's talking about this.
What specific type of the sexual activity did Vaseline figure into?
The actual sex.
I agree.
Was Vaseline ever a part of the rough sex?
Only in respect to actual sex, but hardly ever.
So watch his body language right here. I want you to look at his head position, the way he nods and shakes his head. Watch this right here.
Was Vaseline ever a part of the rough sex?
Only.
See, he already started shaking his head no as he was saying this. This is something he feels deeply. Oftentimes we see when people are responding to things when they're lying, they have a problem synchronizing things correctly. So they'll respond verbally because they'll be thinking of it, they'll be analyzing it, and then emotionally they'll try to respond afterwards. So they'll say no and then maybe shake their head a little bit afterward. His body is already reacting just from hearing the question before he's even really responding to it.
Vaseline ever a part of the rough sex?
Okay.
Only in respect to actual sex, but hardly ever.
What about with respect to certain implements? Was it ever used for that?
Yes, it was used rarely, but not very often.
And with respect to actual sex, Mr. Menendez, I think you've already tested.
Now you see his chin position right here. Our neck is a very vulnerable place. He's lowering his chin as they're talking about this. So emotionally, there seems to be something that's making him feel a bit more defensive here. It's a little bit different than when someone's feeling defensive because they're lying. This seems to be, once again, an emotional reaction to that. He's not obscuring his body. He's not looking away. He's not trying to hide his reaction in some sense. But as you can see, his neck is hiding more. And this is as they're talking about something that would be deeply traumatic.
And with respect to actual sex, Mr. Menendez, I think you've already testified that was still a component when you lived in California. Is that right?
Yes.
And when was the last episode of actual sex between yourself and your father in California?
In May 1989.
And was there some...
Look at how much effort it takes to talk about this. Watch his face right here.
Between yourself and your father in California?
In May.
You can hear the deep sigh This is, once again, when people are performing, and we see a lot of people perform on the stand. There's a lot of examples we can go through if you want, but there's something about equality when somebody's performing because people typically don't get the subtleties correct. I've talked about this before. I talked about it in the last video. Faking things like this is very, very challenging because I've done a lot of evaluations and I've seen a lot of people try, and they typically just miss certain aspects of what it's like to talk about trauma. And as I've said in the last video, and as I will say again in this video, to me, it is very clear that he has actually experienced real and severe trauma.
I won't play the rest because I want you guys. No, I support that, Wolfie. I got your message and I support that. And I'm gonna look. That's, you know what? That's a really good question. Tomboy Charm says, "What did you think before the book?" This is all I'm going to show of this because I don't want to get struck by Dr. G of all people. But I encourage you guys to, and I'm going to drop. Actually, I'll put it in the description so we don't have to worry about it right now. Dino, hey friend. I'm going to take my hair out. It's that time of night where we just.
What were you saying?
Tomboy Charm asked, what did Wolfie think before she read the book, before her thoughts on the book? So we're going to look up this book. This is going to be my mission before I go to bed. You didn't believe them at all before the series. Okay. Well, that series, and I have to say it, is a lot of it was fiction. I do know that. I cut it all off. I cut off a lot. Because my hair was pretty unhealthy. But I'm going to look into that book because I love a good challenge. And I love to learn different things and see different aspects of things. But what I liked about the Dr. G is, according to him, in his opinion, he has been through some trauma. He didn't say abuse. He said trauma. So I'm keeping that in mind. Now, as you go through and you listen to what he has to say, you may agree or disagree. Look up the court side. Oh, yeah. Chico says, Wolfie, I get it. I get why, though, because of pure rage that went into the unaliving of the parents. That was pure. I appreciate you.
Hope you have a good night, Dino. That's what we were talking about the other night, too. Even the way, like, Eric described it, like the shutting of the, like, he just walked in and it was just that, like, there was nothing orchestrated about it. It was like all that anger, fear, and pain, just kind of the chaos of the scene almost, even though there were specific shots that were more obviously questionable than others. But just if you step away from that for just a moment and look at, if you walked into that scene, like the law enforcement investigator said, not only was it gruesome, it was just, it was like, it was crazy, like just everywhere. It was nothing like when they were, talking about the potential mafia hit or something. There was nothing clean about this. And I don't think it was clean. It wasn't clean, because not all the way developed young men, coupled with,
it was sloppy. It was definitely not a murder. It wasn't a mafia hit.
Yeah, that shows like that. It's like that passion, but also just lack of expertise, or
Elena.
Sporadic almost.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seemed like to me
but it was a release of something for them. That was no doubt.
Well, and Dr. G does go on in that particular interview to talk about how angry Eric is with his mother, because facially, every time her name is brought up, he gets this angry face on. Play the 911 call.
Oh, that was, I'll give you, no, that was kind of, that's a show. I agree. I don't disagree with that. That was, I think they had to come, I think it's a mix of it too. They walk in and come to reality of what once they were reacquainted with the reality, that may have quasi escaped them for 45 minutes to an hour after doing it, and then coming in and just being
reality hits you. I don't know. I again on that call, I have some mixed emotions, because I'll tell you what I don't believe is Lyle to be sincere, but Eric in the background, the pain and the anguish I feel with him. The hearing his bellowing and his screaming, I do feel that. I'm not gonna lie.
And didn't most of the law enforcement that night say that he really was like that, Eric? Yeah. I mean, like literally, like a distraught child, young. Oh yes. Oh, I thumbed it up.
I know my boy got a win. Yes. Yes. Thor.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that will be an interesting discussion.
Yes, Eric is more genuine of the two. I agree. And I think it's always been that way. You know, LFT and I, we went back and forth, and she, the other night we were talking about just Menendez all the way around. And she was like, who would you trust more? And my answer was Lyle. I would trust Lyle more. Now I'm kind of like, well, would I? The only reason I said I would trust Lyle more is because, what the hell did I say?
Because you was like, he stuck, like he kept it together, and
no, that was your answer. That wasn't my answer.
I said it. No, because I said I trusted Eric more.
No, I know, but you said that was my answer for me. That wasn't my answer, though. It wasn't because he kept it together. It wasn't because he was leading the two. That wasn't it. It was he's a straight shooter. That was my answer. Because he's more direct than Eric is. Eric is more passive and quiet and reflective, whereas Lyle is more off the cuff. That was my, if you asked me a question at that moment, who would I trust more to tell me the truth? Oh God, now I'm looking back and going, well, let's just put it this way. I'm keeping an open mind. I'm keeping an open mind. Yes, they would have, Delana. That was one of the questions we had. Yes, absolutely. He's a fluff giver.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time I had a specific answer, and now for the love of me, I cannot remember what my answer was. Your answer for me was he was more in charge, but that wasn't my answer.
But I thought it was like,
yes, 0 F's given. That was part of it.
Like you also, because I was like, I mean, with the whole thing with Eric coming forward, but you were like, again, I'm trusting Lyle. I think you meant it as like, if you're like, he was holding his word to like essentially what he and his brother talked about. So like,
he
in
was
terms of what's yeah, in terms
that
of
is what it was. Yes, he because if you tell Lyle a secret, he could keep the secret. That was the thing.
That's where it went to me. That you were explaining to me, because you're like, because he's.
That's what it was. It wasn't who was in charge. It was that Lyle can keep a secret, Eric can't.
Yeah, and I was like, because I asked, my question to you was, who do you trust more out of the two?
Oh, Wolf will do that for you.
Yeah,
I know you did shake my brain around. You sure did, but I appreciate that, because that's where the conversation comes in. You know, in I much prefer a conversation than a monologue. I much prefer someone to challenge me and say, but wait, that can't hold water, or that's not a good enough explanation. I need more. Look at this book, or look at this show, or look at this thing. I love that, because like I said at the beginning of the show, like, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm only here to deliver the information that you made me discuss. You know, you brought to my attention last Thursday. you're still doing that. That's a good thing. And I hope I'm doing that for other people. You know, I hope that I'm offering another perspective. If you don't believe the boys, I hope that I'm bringing something to the table that says maybe there's a little bit more to it. You may not believe me yet, which is going to challenge me to go do more work. I think that's fair too. Y'all may have discussed this. Oh, I can't see. Hold on. I got to put my glasses back on.
Y'all may have discussed this previously, and if so, I apologize. But does anyone think they should be released now or keep them in jail? Oh, I know my answer.
I have very strong feelings about this.
Yeah.
Tell your answer, LFT.
I think there's no one doubts who committed this. Like they are guilty of what they did. No ifs, ands, or buts. I think the way they have served 35 years without the possibility of parole, for sure at this point, yes, they deserve an opportunity to have their butts at minimum in front of a parole board. Because I go back to what other people have said, and when we all think about it, when you've got people like Susan Smith and what's their names of the Manson murders, and people that have done just as egregious acts or whatnot. I mean, but have the opportunity to sit in front of a parole board because maybe they had some sort of mental handicap issue, you know, some sort, or were experiencing some sort of mental episode. Even if that's into play, I have at this moment in time, at this hour of this date, I'll be damned that what that the boy's story is no less important than anyone else's at this point. And the way they've conducted themselves, they own it. Yeah, they at least at minimum deserve an opportunity to be sitting in front of a parole board asking for parole. And then every side of the family,
they're not going to get parole. If they got life without the possibility of parole.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
they're going to be in front of a parole officer. It's going to have to be a resentencing.
But that's what I mean. Like at bare minimum, their butt should have the opportunity to, at minimum, be sitting in front of a parole board to have, like, you know what I mean, their sentence like to be
reduced.
I mean, at this point, yes, that's how I feel. But that's also me trying to think realistically of it, because we don't take away that.
I think Eric does. I think Eric does own it. I feel different when it comes to the money. If they grew up poor, I think that the money was never a factor until they were dead and could use the credit card, the dad's credit card. I think Lyle was always a spender and showed off, and that was his personality. I don't think that was Eric's necessarily. They bought 3 Rolexes and Eric gave them all away. Now,
I think that was their lifestyle too. I mean, they already led a fairly, like everyone's even said, like, yeah, I guess it is a little weird that they spent as much, but like half their friends were going, and so.
But it wasn't that weird for them to spend that much.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
Money, like water, they said. Now, as far as them being released, do I think yes? And the reason that I think is because, not because I don't think that they did anything wrong, not because I think that, you know, all this other stuff. Can somebody get that? Okay, I got it. But because I think they've been rehabilitated. I think that they've served their time. I think they've, you know, I don't think that releasing them to the general public, I don't believe that they're a danger to the general public. This is just my opinion. We're just talking my opinion. I do believe that they have graduated from college. They both have, both gotten degrees. They've both developed plans that are now nationwide plans for different prisons. They've done beautification. I don't know. Beautification projects in their prison, which has helped morale incredibly. I did do some background on that. That was pretty interesting. They went from
counsel other inmates.
Yeah, I'm getting there. They went from gray drab walls and realizing that that is what people deserve in prison, right? That's what they deserve. But then if you want to rehabilitate a human being, adding color, giving direction, these are things that they have done. Like LFT was saying, like they counseled, they're able to counsel other prisoners. One of the things that's so stupid to me, but I noticed it, was that they can wear jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's weird in prison.
Well,
they can actually wear jewelry.
And aren't they now in the same? They're now in the same facility, right?
Now they are, yeah.
Yeah, and that took years and years and years and years of, you know what I mean, for even that to happen. And the fact they've been in there for like five years now. I mean, it's been, or wait, was it 2013-ish or?
No, they've been together now a while.
But there's been no significant incidences with them since they've even been housed within.
They've never been violent.
No.
They have never been violent. Violence has been put on Eric. But they have never once been violent to another human in prison. One
Life
of them,
without parole. Life without parole.
Yeah, life without the possibility of parole, which means, and they're both married. Lyle's been married twice, and never. I thought this was so interesting. I don't know why. And also it goes to my mind with the abuse is they don't get conjugal visits because they don't get parole. They don't get conjugal visits. So they've never been with their wives, never. And one of the things that Lyle said is it's actually taught him to be a better communicator because you take that aspect out and you have nothing but communication left. No offense, but I don't understand how folks can marry. None taken there. I'm not looking for my best material on death row.
And then to be divorced and remarried in prison. But I did think that was an interesting question the other night on STS on Surviving the Survivor when they had Ann Burgess on. Someone did ask about that. Like, I wonder how will they succeed, or how do you think the marriages will thrive? Say they were to get out.
When they released.
And like if they're released, like do you think? And then it was so interesting because I don't think she really commented very much but the other woman did a little bit more, and it was really interesting because it was just like they all were like, it's like we're rooting for you, but like the dynamics would
odds
change.
are good. You've never actually spent time with this human.
We're rooting for you, Spartanburg and Myrtle Beach. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how folks can marry a lifer. That just takes me right to Wade Wilson, right there. And I'm like, nope.
No, I don't even like his thumbnail. You know the stitches around. I don't like it. I can't imagine even talking
money
to him.
grab. It ain't for the chicks. It's for the money. He's not even liking with the chicks. He likes the boys. So supportive of that. Don't play the girls though. Just take the damn money and run.
I know, but I don't. Sorry, no, like I don't mind tattoos or something. But I'm sorry, I just am someone, I don't know, throw a pair of pearls on a pole again and picture it what you want. But I just get a little intimidated sometimes when it's like stitches around the mouth. I don't like it.
My partner has to be free. Period. End of story. Right there. Yes. 100% agree with that. Now, if we was together and we
okay. Oh, yeah.
Fair statement. They planned this and knew what they were getting into when they were killing. Yes and no. I don't think there was a lot of forethought on how this was going to go. I think they thought they were going to get caught that night. And when they didn't, I think that gave him a false sense of security.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what I think.
I can see. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think some things through.
If you take it back and lessen the sentence, let's see, that gives the wrong idea to people. Okay, so if you take it back and lessen the sentence, it sends the wrong message for murder one, I guess is what you're saying. I guess yes. But then there's people who are cold-blooded killers for no reason, and there's people who do it because of blah, 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 X, Y, and Z.
Okay. But wait a minute. On this one, someone does something and they don't speak up and take it in their own hands again. Okay. I will give you that's a great point. And this is where I guess again I'm throwing myself at the mercy of apparently
Sorry, I'm laughing at this comment right here. Well, I don't kill because I'm good.
Oh my God. We never
Yeah, two crimes because I like my freedom too.
I like freedom too much. I'll read about it and research the hell out of it, but I ain't gonna.
But I mercy of the wolf. But I agree with that. Like, I don't look good in orange or her horizontal stripes. My ass is too fat for that. I would look like a walking billboard with no.
Wolfie would be like the one on Tom Segura where it was like, I mean, I didn't know him, but I knew him. And they're like, well, did you see it? And he's like, yeah, I was standing right here, and he was standing right there. My hands are clean, but I saw it all. If you want the deets, message me at.
I think Finland has a similar. It must be like that. Like that whole Lapland. What is it? Area. Sweden, Norway. They do actually try to rehabilitate humans. Wolfie, the wrong message is already out there. We legit have murderers walking around in Memphis free right now. There's no consequence in the age, and it's really, fact. Actually, this reminds me. Thank you for writing this because this reminds me. Is there anyone in this chat who doesn't know Chico and isn't subscribed to her? I would really consider it a blessing and an honor if someone would drop her channel link in here. And I would really ask you guys to go support her over there. Super important to me. I really like what she's doing. Chico's a straight shooter. I like her content and I like what she brings to the table. She's smart. So if you wouldn't mind going and subbing up to Chico, it would make me, I would consider it a personal favor, and I'm very, very grateful. I really want to support her, and I want to, there's like, when you see someone, you're like, yes, you want to see that person succeed. I want to do what I can to help Chico succeed and just do more.
Yeah.
Say more. I want more from you. And I want more subscribers.
And she's very supportive of other creators.
She's very supportive of many.
And she's also great at covering. She sticks to what she says too, and will cover smaller cases or very even just as significant cases that don't get as much of attention. And she'll do it day or night. But then she can also get on panel with some people and roast the F or just speak the truth about certain silliness going on, which is another admirable and delightful quality to have.
Well, I want to make sure that anyone who comes in, Wolfie doesn't have a channel, but I wish she would.
Wolfie's everywhere though. She's like, what is it, like Roku kind of deal or whatever? What was it? Like, she's like old school TiVo. You can find her anywhere. Just she'll handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, please go like and sub up. And like I said, when I ask you guys to go sub up and stuff, like go like a bunch of their videos and leave a nice comment. I really, I stand by that. I try to do that for other people. I try to go in and leave like little silly, like, here's your comment. Even if I don't know what we're talking, like, here's your nice comment, anything.
Well, almost anywhere will be. But there's some places, even if you make it known, and it's totally worth it when you go in.
Mm. Well, anywho, do we feel like we covered this one? Thanks, Selena.
I think so.
Yeah. You want to come back? Well. I think we're going to do another one this week and start on the timeline. No, Wolfie does not flip flop. That's a back jack.
Well,
Grandma the crazy leader.
Yeah, I thought you did great. You had all the clips and prepared well and got it all done. Thank you.
Well,
Wolfie. All right, I mean, Halloween.
And this is
Halloween deets. Halloween deets. Okay.
Oh.
With the slick comments.
I love that. That you should have that tattooed. You should have that tattooed. Thanks, Chico. And thank you for being here. I truly, truly do consider it an honor to have you guys here tonight. It really does mean the world to me. That's no BS. I really respect and look up to you guys. So having you come in and question and participate, it really, really means so much to me. Miss Italy, having you come back to our channel after, so long is such a thank you. Thank you very much.
That was like a pleasant surprise. And by the way, Wolfie, if you're going around as deets for Halloween, I swear to God, on the 30th or 31st, you better pop on a panel, at least 3 of them that day. And all you have to do is open a can and say it's Mr. Pip, and then you can get off. You don't have to say anything else. Just go around. It's like if you're going to be deets for Halloween, just go pop in, opening cans and just go, it's a Pib. I got my Pib.
I got my Pib, my Mr. Pib. No, I'm really glad that you came in, Miss Lily. It really is an honor to have you come back to our channel. I really appreciate it. And Grandma Sherry, just such a lovely lady. I just love you so much. I go in and, like I said, with a lot of people, I think YouTube's weird now. And
you mean LawTube?
Not going there. I'm not. Don't care. I think YouTube's weird now in the sense that there's so many sides to pick that I'm not interested in it. So I don't do a lot of talking in chats. Sometimes I just go in and listen and enjoy that. For some reason, there's a lot of people who aren't talking to me now. Honestly, I don't give a shit. I will just take my money and my support and place it where it belongs, and the people that earn it deserve it. And there's many that I can, that are in this chat tonight that I would much rather support. It's just weird now. It's just gotten so weird. Everyone's in their ego, and I'm not there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of that. Enjoy that shit over there. We're going to just keep cruising. Kevin is a handsome gentleman. It's Halloween. I'm dying. You feel the same way, Tomboy Charm? Yeah. But I think what we're going to do is come back later in the week after we've had a little chance to connect and do the week prior to the murders, and just talk about that, talk about some of the things that happened the week before. And then we'll do one on the day of. Does that work? Does that sound right? Okay. Does that sound cool to you? That's kind of what we planned, right?
I think that sounds good. Yeah. Because, there's some things we can talk about. even before, like slightly before, a week before the things too.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think that sounds great. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for getting it all ready and doing it tonight.
And no worries. You're up next time. You get to do all the work.
All right, man. I'm good. I'm gonna go to the spreadsheet and find a few clips. I got it.
Sweet. You need to sleep. Go to sleep, Wolfie. Go lay down. That's me. Go lay down. Yeah. But I wanted to say thank you very much for being here. Please go to your favorite creator. And she said it. I got to put it up there. Please go to your favorite creator, like a bunch of their videos, leave a nice comment, tell them we sent you, and come back and let's talk some more Menendez later in the week and see what we can cover there. In the meantime, I have my homework assignment. I will be looking through this book, trying to find it. I'm not paying $90 for it, but I'm going to find it somewhere. Don't you worry. But thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
Wolfie, do you do Audible? Do you read aloud for... Does she have the book? We can't get it. Can you read it?
Oh, yeah. Drop that link. Drop that link. I forgot. Legend, my YouTube nephew, I love him dearly, has a new channel and he's trying to get subscribers there. Please go like and sub to his channel and be very supportive of him. He's a great kid. He's an amazing kid. His mom's flipping cool too. His mom's pretty flipping cool too. But if you wouldn't mind going to, you have the normal book and Audible. Okay, good. Because then I know it's in there. So you've already, that helps me. Do you have his channel, Delana?
Wait, I think I may have it right here. Hold on.
Have it? Great. Let's drop that in.
Let me go to my subscriptions.
I need everyone to go over and sub.
Hold on. I'm going through them.
Oh, really? My daughter's the same way. She has to touch and feel the books. She doesn't like to listen to books. She has to touch, feel. Like she got a Kindle last year for Christmas from her boyfriend, and she's okay with it. She's made amends with it. But I mean, if you saw her room, it is just, well, she's a librarian.
That was that's the reason my family gave me my Kindle, was because I had so many books. Oh my gosh.
This is Legends channel. Everybody go over, subscribe, and like all his videos.
Thank you. I swear I was sitting here scrolling through my subscriptions, but I have to go slow because I don't have my glasses on. Oh, I got it right here.
Yeah. She needs to touch and feel the pages of the book. She likes to smell the book. She was all excited. She got a job as a librarian. So that's what she do now. She's in her element. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Put this up. Yes, they are trying to gain subs. So please go over and join his channel. He's an amazing guy. Thank you all for being here. We are going to end this. Have a lovely evening, and we will see you around the streets. Maybe. If it's safe.
See you behind the bushes.
If it's safe. Y'all take care. Thank you so much.
Bye, y'all.
just firing as I went into the room. I just started firing.
In what direction?
In front of me.
What was in front of you?
My parents.